Hi, it's Jean Maund from Just Ask Jean with the first in a series of 7 videos which will save you money. Whether you've got a website already or whether you're just thinking about getting a website, these are 7 points that you need to consider. And the presentation is called 7.5 because I'll give you a bit of bonus at the end. Ridiculously easy ways to waste money on your website. Now, this comes from experience. I've seen so many people waste money going to a web designer and being given something that looks, well, we'll come on to that, but it may look great, but does it actually work? And so they're wasting money because your website has a purpose. So the first problem is that people don't have a plan. Now, I'm not talking about this sort of plan at all. Not a complicated plan, not a site map of where everything's going, because it'll become organic. You'll add things to it, you'll change things around. You need to have a basic idea of what you want there at the beginning, but much more important than that is to think about what's the purpose of your website. Now, you might think that's a very silly question, because, well, you have a website because everybody else has one. You're not in business unless you have a website. It's like having a business card. But why? Why do you need it? Do you want your website just to be a brochure site so people can go on, have a look at what you do, get your contact details, maybe give you a call? Or do you want people to, sorry, click the wrong button there, let's try again. Yeah, purpose of your website. Can be a brochure site. It could be that you actually want to sell things on there. You've got an e-commerce site. Do you want it to position you as an expert in your field? Or do you want people to sign up for a newsletter? Something like that. Do you want to collect leads? Okay, we'll come back onto that in a minute. Who is the site for? Now, there are lots of people that your site isn't for, and we'll come on to that in part 2. But who is your site for? Who is your ideal customer? Now, I'll spend a little bit of time on this because it's really important. And if you haven't already done this as a marketing type exercise, you really need to. It's very, very useful. Think about, if you're already in business, who are the people who are a joy to work with, who pay happily, who get what you do, who really appreciate what you do, who need what you do as well. So your ideal customer, could you pick them out of a lineup? Do you know what they would look like, how old they are, whether they're male or female, where they shop, what sort of car they drive, what magazines they read? Really hone down onto that ideal customer. So then you can be writing to that customer, and also everything you do about that site will be aimed towards that person. Really important. And the last one of these, what's your most wanted response? What do you want people ideally to do when they come to the website? Go, oh, that's a nice site. Excuse me. Or do you want them to fill in a form? Do you want them to buy something? Do you want them to call you? Really need to think about that most wanted response. Again, we'll come back to that in various parts coming up. The next part we're going to be talking about is the actual design, and part 2 will save you a lot of money if you think about these points carefully before you go to a web designer. So I'll see you in a little while in part 2.